This show features adults using adult language. Falcon!
Alright guys, welcome back to another episode of Geekquinox here on the Two Hillbillies Play channel. As always, I am Gieto and joined with my buddy
Josh, aka Don Bronson.
And our regular guests are back with us again today for this episode. We got Brandon, aka Black Moses.
These are some good cookies, man.
He's stuffing his face right now.
Mom.
And my buddy Ben, also known as Blitzstar.
Hello. Dude, let me get one of them.
And we're on lunch break right now.
And I'm Bane. Good evening.
Alright, so last episode we talked about Batman vs. Superman, Suicide Squad, and we did a lot of touching on Wonder Woman and Aquaman.
I would love to touch Wonder Woman. Man.
And
Gal Gadot,
yeah. So the next in line though is the Wonder Woman movie. I'm pretty sure there's no synopsis. There's really nothing to go on. Who she's gonna be fighting or anything like that. So I mean, we're pretty much covered on this. I think we should go ahead and skip straight on into the Justice League movie, and what we think about that.
I think I know who Wonder Woman's supervillain is going to be. The critics. Gonna fight them all freaking movie, man.
You might be actually very right.
So, the only thing they've really put out so far about the Justice League movie is that obviously these are most of the world's greatest superheroes,
Right.
kind of under one roof. You know, I really like Justice League as far as like comic book story goes. I always love teams more than individual anyway, unless we're talking about like Nightwing or Batman. But and in the synopsis, the only thing they had really posted about it was that they're brought together to combat a threat that's beyond each of the members' capabilities. So it says each of the members' capabilities. From me trying to like mentally depict this, I'm thinking Legion of Doom or Brainiac. That's the only two things I can really even go off the top rope.
I see Brainiac or Darkseid.
Now, do you think they would do Darkseid, seeming it's kind of maybe somewhat similar to Thanos? Although Darkseid's
that's kind of the thing too. Is with Marvel having Thanos and those characters being so closely related that they may not touch on it. Plus, Justice League doesn't have all this setup time either. But they don't have a setup time. If you look at these other movies. Batman vs. Superman, pretty sure we don't know, but unless that movie comes out and starts dropping a hint at some kind of big bad guy, if they're not setting up something for the Justice League right off the bat in this movie,
yeah,
who the hell are they? I don't know. I don't know where they're going with this, and this is kind of echoing everything we've been talking about. Is we're really worried, is DC doing everything right? Because those setups are what draw you in and make you more and more eager to see these things as they go on. And really, you got Batman vs. Superman, and Wonder Woman gets her own movie, and then Suicide Squad, which I feel like should have jack shit to do with.
Should be in like 2020 is when that movie should be out, in my opinion. So you're seeing, for some reason, it has Cyborg mentioned.
He's a Justice League.
Yeah, he is now,
but they're using that incarnation in the movie.
Yeah, and I feel like they should have done Martian Manhunter.
I agree
as well. So
wait, Martian Manhunter's not in this movie.
It's not casted yet. It's not saying he won't be in this movie.
He has to be.
That's how I feel about it too.
Yeah, but
they got the Trinity in there, of course. You have.
Well, they've got more than that. Flash is going to be in it. Cyborg is going to be in it.
But as far as casting goes, they're still everywhere as far as casting goes. You figure some of these movies...
The Flash is cast, Cyborg is cast.
They got Ray Fisher playing.
Yeah.
Victor Stone.
And Ezra Miller is playing the Flash. So... Flash comes up next. We'll go that one. So, but other than that, there are no other heroes announced cast.
And we've already talked about the roles. I don't see Gal Gadot.
Right. So
Ray Fisher, I'm not going to say anything bad about him, I feel I feel that he's gonna play, you know, Victor the way that I would like to see, and he really hasn't been in a whole lot of other movies. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
But you know,
he looks the part though. I mean,
he does.
He looks pretty.
What are you trying to say? What?
Black dude playing.
He looks like a black dude playing a cyborg.
He looks rolled up and
he would probably
intelligent.
As the resident black expert on the panel, Black Moses agrees with the synopsis.
But I mean, he's gonna be making an appearance in Batman vs Superman.
Yeah.
So you're gonna see a lot of the Justice League appear at least in this movie, if not all of them.
Yeah.
And that's probably why they were recently thought about doing some reshootings and stuff like that too. So I'm extremely excited about this movie. Like, it's probably in the 5-year plan as far as movies go. The only other movie I'd be even more so than The Flash to see is Shazam.
Yeah.
And we'll get to that, but
So, like you said though, looking at this big bad guys, I know y'all, you know, Don, and you don't know so much about the comics, but you've seen Justice League, the cartoon anime show, and they always touch on the important bad guy. Anybody that I could foresee being a bad guy in this would have obviously been in there at some point.
yeah. Let's just make a new bad guy.
Yeah.
That's stupid.
Brainiac is a big enough threat, but most people tie him so much to Superman and Superman alone. I don't know that they'll use him as the bad guy.
Which is why I was thinking so much about like the whole Legion of Doom thing, because they could bring like, oh, here's Bizarro. Oh, here, you know, like they can just start throwing random people.
And I would
Solomon and Grundy.
Like,
you know,
God, that would be so good. But the reason I wonder about that is just like I said, the setup time. They don't. Unless they find a way to reference all these other bad guys and everything in these other movies to give them some kind of prominence to be in the Justice League, I think you're going to kill too much time with, all right, now all the heroes are together. Now why are all these villains together? And where did all these villains come from? And
like, let's depict like Guardians of the Galaxy real quick. You had Ronan in there, and then you had Thanos.
But Thanos was such a small role comparatively in the grand scheme of things.
Well, I understand that, but Thanos is a big role in the scheme of things.
They're building up to him.
So that's what they could do as far as even Ultron. I mean, come on, dude. They're kind of like,
I mean,
throwing Ultron.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're doing the same thing.
I mean, at the end of Avengers, they showed Thanos.
Yeah.
And then Guardians of the Galaxy, he was in there.
But,
I mean, they're building up to
that's a
something
build-up,
big.
though. That's what I'm saying.
But
Here,
the main
they're
bad
just
guy
throwing it in
in
there.
Guardians was Ronan, the one who had the most screen time. The main bad guy in Avengers is going to be Ultron. And just like
you said, you're throwing them in there. But here's the thing. You're throwing one villain, not a legion. You know.
Well, yeah, I understand what you're saying.
10 of them.
And then the Collector is something's building up with that motherfucker too, because this is DC.
He's a
This is
fun
DC.
character.
You're talking about.
he
We had
had
too much fun with Marvel.
yeah, he had a lot of the gems. That's the only way you can really depict that is he had a lot of the gems. Now that everything's wrecked.
He had Howard the Duck too. Let's not forget that.
So for Justice League, I can still see them doing that, and like Brainiac may be behind, because this is a part 1, part 2.
That's true too. Yeah.
So it could be like, oh, Brainiac's pulling the strings.
Well, here's
and
something
then,
you can look at too for Legion of Doom. With 2 Justice League movies, is the first one a big setup, and then have the Legion of Doom? Like, maybe these characters individually start running into the Legion of Doom, and then decide they gotta get together, and then the second one's a big clash of all of them. I mean, there's
yes.
something...
Just yes, that's all I heard you say, like, yes, okay, yeah.
All right, something about Wonder Woman. Mary Elizabeth Winstead auditioned for the role. Christina Milan is a comic book fan.
Wow.
She was interested
Let's
in it.
get Gal Gadot.
Well, either way, I mean...
Teresa Palmer and Shannon Sossman were interested in the role, and Jessica Biel turned it down.
Well, I mean, are any of those...
That's too bad.
Here's the thing. Listen to that list, though. Is there anybody you place over Gal Gadot? I mean, none of those seem to me to be a giant
Jessica
better
Biel.
I would rather watch Jessica Biel for 3 hours.
Jessica Biel. But...
I'm sorry, if you're going on hotness level top of Jessica Biel, I think Gal Gadot's fucking hotter
She
than she
could pass
is.
for an Amazonian.
So how would you feel about like the Justice League, like this movie being all animation? Like if there was no actors, it was just all animated.
I think
like
for
animated.
a movie setting,
like Pixar style, not Pixar style, but
Like a
like
Disney
that.
style movie.
No.
No, you just said like a DC animated movie.
Yeah,
They have
DC
fucking
animated movies.
amazing animated movie.
Okay, fine.
They're great, yeah.
A DC animated movie.
Yes.
Because that's Warner Brothers actually.
For home video.
Yeah.
Not for a theater release. Not for like these movies that they're doing.
Like, because that's where Warner Brothers was going to go with it at first.
Justice League?
Yep.
Oh, that's stupid.
That would have.
They can-
I
well,
think
they
for that
considered-
movie
they considered
first,
making
that's
it.
retarded as shit. I mean,
Yeah.
why make movies and then all of a sudden like, oh, movies, cartoon, and then back to some movies for the individual characters? That's
Also, the
ridiculous.
thing is, too, is, I mean, you have to think of it this way. If they were to do Justice League at, like, the end of the timeline, you're filming for, like, 5 years. These people are, well, way longer than that. And then you start filming and you have an expected release date. They should have started filming, like, 10 years ago for all this stuff to get done. That's the problem with time crunching like this, because a lot of these movies just started filming.
Yeah.
That's a lot
Well,
to
shit,
work
well,
on.
Batman's done filming, and that's the
Yeah.
thing too. I mean, you know, this. I don't know. The weight on it is just a little too much. I think.
Yeah, I was going back looking.
But they probably didn't want to compete a lot with the Marvel stuff, though, either. You think?
Well, that's the thing. Marvel. I was going back. Marvel releases 2 movies in 2015, and both of those are early movies, like midsummer. If they can push Batman vs Superman out in
Fall,
late
winter,
Christmas,
that'd be
fall,
great.
winter, Christmas. There's nothing else superhero related to compete with.
That's possible. That's very possible. It happens too. I mean,
Santa.
everybody talks about them doing something to race. But here's the thing: to do that, you maybe jump your whole schedule because that's saying that in 2016 you only have one movie, Suicide Squad. And DC's got 2 movies coming out every year. Wonder Woman, Justice League come out in 2017. Flash, Aquaman, 2018. Shazam and Part 2 of Justice League 2019. Marvel went and upped the ante a little bit and was like, okay, DC wants to put their hat in the game. Not only are we still cool with putting out movies and saying, if you put your shit up next to me, that's fine. We're going to amp it up even more. We got 3 movies for you to try to work around now. Marvel's dropping 3 movies a year.
Yeah.
Definitely keeping the fans happy.
I mean, well, they're saying, I don't care what you do, DC. It's your move,
Yeah.
We've been winning this game the whole time. You can play catch up. We're not scared.
That's ultimately what's
I mean, Marvel has their foothold. I mean, they got it. They got their foot right where they want it. They,
Oh yeah, they don't.
whatever DC does,
They don't
it's
have to
gonna
change. Marvel doesn't not have to change a single step in anything they're doing.
Yeah.
Everything's working fine.
But
Ryan Reynolds was approached to play Hal Jordan.
and for the Justice League movie,
Yes.
uh,
And okay, so
that's
he declined it. He declined it. He said he noticed that while making Green Lantern, it was too hard to make it all work. He also said that unless it was a good project, he will return.
Wait, you read IMDb on that? Is that what it says?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Well, you
I
gave
didn't
my
know that
look.
was
I had a superpower until you fucking revealed it, motherfucker.
Oh,
So we'll cut that out, maybe.
No, that's all gold right there. Is that on IMDb?
yeah,
duh.
that's why I didn't know that he was.
If it's on
approached
IMDb,
again.
it
Like,
must
I thought
be
he
real.
was done. So that's interesting.
I'm considering this as probably about as legit as Wikipedia. Anybody can go on there and write whatever the fuck they want.
Tap
Yeah.
to edit.
Yeah.
Well, that
Well,
even
see, but
goes
here's-
down to Wonder Woman. All the directors for that were all female directors. I mean,
Yeah, but you brought up a good point though, talking about Green Lantern though. Green Lantern's a member of the Justice League. Green Lantern's the one that has not been cast, has not been announced. Will he be in the Justice League?
The
movie?
thing
That's-
is,
for sure in part 2. You'll
I
see.
feel that the Green Lantern is such an amazing character. Like
Yeah.
just all the shit he
he's
can
a
do.
yeah.
great character.
I mean, he brings a lot to the table.
And Green Lantern's one of the main focus points of Justice League too. He's one of the big.
Yeah, he's
characters that everybody thinks about
after
in
the
there.
initial wave, yeah, most definitely. You have like the first waivers, and then you have
Yeah.
everybody else, and you start introducing like Red Tornado, Green Lantern.
Yeah.
You got Stargirl. You got like a bunch of other people who start getting introduced into the Justice League, and that's definitely a character you want to see in there.
And
Absolutely.
it also says here that Cyborg's origin is set to be explained in the film.
Okay, well I can see that because Cyborg's supposed to be set up for 2020, so yeah, that's fine. Hey, he's a guy that has
A lot of people are kind of, and this is another thing where DC might be jumping the gun and just saying let's go with things because let's jump back to Marvel for a minute. Kevin Feige came out and said no more backstories. No more like Doctor Strange gets his own movie. This is not the origin of Doctor Strange. They might like reference it.
Go read a comic book.
So you guys will find this interesting. You were talking about the villain. Who's going to be the villain?
Yeah.
All right. So Brainiac is rumored to be the main villain,
Okay.
with an introduction to Darkseid also in the film.
I can absolutely see that. I can absolutely see that. I don't know where those two would cross. Why they would.
Well, it also says that the movie is based on the comic book Justice League, the New 52,
Yeah. See.
where Superman,
Yeah.
Batman, the Flash, Green Lantern, Wonder Woman,
That's why Cyborg would be in it.
Aquaman, and Cyborg battle against Darkseid. And he plants
Yeah, Martian Manhunter.
He plants bombs,
Justice
different bombs around the world or something.
Okay, that'd be kind of cool. I can see that.
Yeah, I mean, and that's one of the guesses we would have. It would be Brainiac or Darkseid or something. So, Brainiac being the first villain and Darkseid leading into the second one.
So for if they really did like if this is true, what I'm reading here, if they really did like approach Ryan Reynolds to play Green Lantern's in the film.
I don't think they did.
Well, they're going by.
I don't think they did though. That movie was such an utter failure that they're rebooting it. Why would they go back to him if they're basically?
Do you really think that?
I don't even think he was a good casting call for it. I mean, I like Ryan Reynolds. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
but I just don't see him as I'm a police kind of guy. You know, especially Deadpool. Spot on. I couldn't see anybody else playing Deadpool, especially with the animated teaser CG trailer thing, test footage or whatever the hell you want to call it.
Yeah.
With that, I mean, he pretty much kills. It kills. Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
I mean, was the Green Lantern the movie in the box office? Was it considered a success?
No.
It wasn't.
No.
Not at all.
Not at all. Hey, well, let's put it this way: you can't call anything a failure that makes money, I suppose.
Yeah, true.
So yes, it made its money, but by anybody's standards, on like, was it a success? Let's go make another one. That like, is everybody saying that was so cool? No.
What was bad?
Will you find people that like the movie? Yeah.
Yeah. What was bad about it that you like? What did you not like?
I didn't.
Was it just purely the cast of Ryan Reynolds for that role?
I didn't like the story.
I feel like they spent too much time focusing on
the way they did Parallax and everything.
Yeah,
Parallax is such a good story in the comics and everything. I did not like the way it was done on here. I didn't particularly like the way all the characters were done necessarily. I don't like the way it was directed. I mean, I don't like some of the the CG in it and stuff. I don't think it was done as well as it could have been done. So, I mean, I don't know.
Oh,
that's
shit.
horrible.
Yeah.
The budget for the movie was $200 million and the box office was $219.
Yeah, so
that's pretty bad.
That's a failure.
Good Lord.
So I mean, I'm happy with them getting a reboot and everything. Like I said, not a knock on Ryan Reynolds. I mean, I enjoy him for the most part. You know, Waiting, some of those other things he's been in are hilarious. But so I don't know.
Well, we'll see. I mean, I'm not. I like Green Lantern. He's very key to a lot of roles.
Yeah.
I mean, especially I like the Flash. They've always Green Lantern and Flash.
You know a lot about the new 52.
Green
like
Lantern?
the new origins and all that stuff, right? I mean,
as far as they introduced a new Green Lantern,
like the
on top of the 4 they already got.
On top of the 27 Earth.
Like I said though, it's easy to have Green Lantern.
Well,
you have a Green Lantern Corps. You have
they still have.
Well, it's going to be one of the main ones though. It's going to be Kyle Rayner.
Yeah.
It's going to be Hal Jordan. It's going to be Jon Stewart. Or it's going to be.
But the entire Green Lantern Corps could be considered Green Lantern. I mean, they're all Green Lantern.
All Green Lanterns, but they're not all in the Justice League.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's one of those.
But
Jon Stewart,
he's got the most wiggle room as far as superheroes go.
Oh yeah,
you know.
But
they could have made one of those.
Well, the Green Lantern comics are centered around that human part.
Yeah, yeah.
So he's gonna be.
It's the Green Lantern from Earth.
Yes.
Yeah. Who they chose from the planet Earth.
Right.
Yeah.
Which
I just think it's kind of funny, you know. Green Lantern. How many life forms in our sector are there to choose from? And then 4 in a row, you know, become Earthlings, and it's like, what?
A lot of it has to do with how like often Earth keeps like proving its worth and stuff, though. Too.
Well, not only that, I think the lifespan of the humans are a lot shorter than some of the other things too. So
yeah.
But But all right, so let's.
Well, because even in Green Lantern Corps, you see a lot of the Earth Green Lanterns and that. There's there's so many Green Lanterns spin-offs right now as far as New 52
That's
goes.
something I want to get in. I want to get on the Blackest Night series, and that's
that would be
got to
so
start reading that.
Like 2015 or 2025. Blackest Night. That'd be like, I'd be so stoked to see Blackest Night 2025. You know, like that would just make my whatever you want to call it. So. That would make my next
some things to call it.
That would make my next 2 decades, you know, like to put it nice, I guess would be.
All right, so Justice League's coming out. They're all going to be together, whatever. Will Green Lantern be in it or not? Be an interesting question to be answered. So, but after that, one of the people who will be in it will be the Flash. Now, I know you've been waiting to talk about this for a while. This is your character.
Do I have to?
your favorite thing in the world.
It is, man. It really.
I'm going to talk about the Flash real quick. Did you catch it?
Sounded like Grimes.
So, man, I love the Flash so much, and basically from everything that's been released so far, you know. The TV series is doing very well.
Yeah.
You know, there was some complaints about why they weren't casting that actor to be in the movie, but obviously we talked about how they separate the two all the time. With that being said, you know, you're going to see the chemical oil spill, Barry Allen gets, and it is Barry Allen, it's not anybody else, it is Barry Allen. So you're going to see him get his powers or whatever through that, and I don't really know where they're going after that. I just know about who they casted for Barry Allen, and I am appalled.
Ezra Miller?
Yeah, I am completely in no way, shape, or form okay with this casting call. And
so what's your knock on Miller? I mean, is it just a you don't see it, or is it like...
For me, visuals are, like, if I see a person, I want to be like, okay, that's... You think of Robert Downey Jr., you don't see Robert Downey Jr., you're like, that's Tony Stark.
Right, yeah.
You know, and that's the same effect that I want to have with my Flash. It's, you know... It's so crucial to me, and then just Ezra Miller, you see this guy, and he's not built like, you know, same thing with Gal Gadot, we got onto, not built like Wonder Woman. He's not built like...
Although, in Gal's defense, how many chicks are built like Wonder Woman that could probably...
And we got onto that UFC. That's basically we'd have to pick your folks from. With that being said, as far as casting goes, is like, a blonde-haired anybody, and I mean, you could dye hair, but he's a little bit, and there's a lot you can do with CG and stuff now. I'm not saying you can't, and
well, I mean, there's time for him. I mean, he could get slowly more cut up and ripped and everything. If you look at Chris Pratt from Guardians. I mean, are you seeing for Parks and Recreation? He was a total lord. He was sitting around doing nothing. He was a big fat ass dude.
Who was
ripped to shit?
Who?
Chris Pratt from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh.
Star-Lord.
Yeah.
I mean,
what's Star-Lord?
Well, I'm not saying. I mean, so if the kid is committed enough, he can make that transformation.
The only other movie I could think of that Ezra Miller's been in was like The Perks of Being a Wallflower.
I mean, I can't say nothing.
And I didn't see the movie. And I didn't see the movie, but, you know, I know a lot of people enjoy the book. You know, I know the premise of it, whatnot. And as far as it goes, for me, like, casting, is there anybody you personally could see playing other than Ezra Miller? Because I can't see Ezra Miller playing. He doesn't look it in any way, shape, or form to me.
You know,
because I have some ideas, and, you know...
I like the cast for The Flash, the TV show.
Yeah, and I think
that Barry Allen, I think he's a great... Like, I think he's a good Flash. He's a little on the skinny side... And,
but you're starting to, if you...
But he's young. It's a very young Flash. He just got his powers.
Yeah, and that's what you're also going to see here, though, too, because, I mean...
What's interesting to take away from this, too, like, the Batman in this series is built on an older, darker, grittier Batman who's been around the block. Do they do that with all the heroes? Is Batman the only old dude on the block?
For the Justice League movie, they're doing, as he had said earlier, they're doing a New 52 approach, so... Aquaman's going to be a dark, strong character. He's going to be, you know, on par with He's going to be blow for blow with Superman. That's what you're going to be expecting him. Wonder Woman, I have no clue, but I'm assuming they're doing the same thing. And, you know, if they are, you might see a lot of earlier stage. That's the only thing I could see for who they got casting it, though. With the Flash, I mean, just from the synopsis, he just got his powers. In the New 52 Flash, he already has his powers.
Right,
There's nothing. It's Barry Allen. He's back after 20 fucking years.
Right.
You know, back to
And
Rain.
you see, like, you know, they got this thing going with, like, they've got the Flash in a TV show, and the Flash is he's like a main character in DC Universe.
Yeah.
And that's not going to be the same person that plays the Flash, like, in the movie. It's kind of like, what is all this for?
Well, the same
like,
thing with the Green Arrow. Green Arrow's a pretty important character, too. And, you know, that's just... it's...
Green Arrow's importance is arguable, though, as far as...
Well, you have Batman there already. I mean...
Well, you're talking about the New 52 also. There's, like,
I
the
just
Green
mean, like,
Arrow...
on heroes that you would see on a big screen... arguing Green Arrow over some of these others.
Yeah, I completely agree.
The same can be said for Suicide Squad, the same can be said for Guardians.
Yeah. But the New 52 is kind of taking a different approach to... the
characters are still...
They're still there, yeah.
It's just a revamping of the story.
Even with how
he
bad...
might have a better story, but I don't think I don't think his story is going to be so good. It's like, all right, Flash isn't as cool anymore. Let's do Green Arrow movie.
Yeah.
The main characters are still the main characters. Are going to be more important to be to see.
Is the Arrow, the TV show? Is it like pretty much like canon for what the New 52?
No,
of Arrow.
No, not at all. And they took
not really.
No, it's not at all. Dude, the New 52 for Green Arrow started off so terribly bad that they had to like fire everybody on it after like issue number 10 to restart.
So I'm just curious. Like, what was the New 52 Green Arrow like? What was his beginning?
He's a lot younger in the series, and as I said, like, I read the first couple books, and then I was like, oh, okay, this is bad, I'm gonna stop putting it down. And I didn't buy any more of this book until, like, issue number 17 or 18, when my friends were like, okay, it's kind of readable again. So.
Was he, like, on an island? And
Well, that's the saying I was getting to, was that, so my favorite Green Arrow is Kevin Smith's Green Arrow. That is hands down, like, Quiver, one of the best Green Arrow reads you'll ever, like, it's just so spectacular. And there's a lot of different takes on all these superheroes, and you can't say, like, oh, what's this and this based off of? Now, yes, he was trapped on an island. Yes, some of this stuff did happen. Shadow was a real person, you know. Deathstroke, not so much on all that stuff.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of takes on this stuff. And with that being said, even me being... you know, a fan of Green Arrow. I like Green Arrow a lot. I like Black Canary. I like Arsenal, Red Arrow, Speedy, whatever you know him by. I like that character a lot. Roy Harper is very dark character. He, you know,
that was one of the biggest things in comics was when he was like addicted to heroin or whatever.
Oh yeah, very controversial issue. Which brought up a whole new thing.
Like, I mean, it kind of evolved the way comics were told and stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
which he like so in Arrow, the TV show, well, Roy Harper isn't like on drugs or anything. He's just a kid.
He's a troubled, yeah,
he's just a troubled teen.
But they skip past all that. He is in the TV show. He's Arsenal,
and he's not known as Speedy.
No, and that's what I'm saying. Even for me, I had the lawyer chick or whatever. That's actually Black Canary, not her sister. And you know they've done a couple things like that. Yeah, and I'm okay with the way they've done everything, because, you know, she is Black Canary now and stuff like that, and they do take their roundabout ways in the TV show, but that's okay to me, because it's still enough content there from like, okay, well, you know, I can sit here and pick about it, but I'm going to still keep watching. Like, the first season of Green Arrow, or Arrow, I couldn't really, it was hard for me to get through.
You know, and I think that's like, it seems like, to me, it seems like DC doesn't have a grip on what they've got. Because
you have resets and a lot of
you have the DC TV shows going against the grain of what their movies are going to be. It's like people are going to be confused. Like if you're going to be the mainstream and like you don't read a comic book in your day,
people don't consider TV and movies mainstream together. Marvel's doing that with S.H.I.E.L.D., but this isn't the only example of the movie's not relating to TV shows.
I understand that, but what I'm saying is that, I mean, the Arrow and the Flash they're a pretty big deal right now.
Yeah.
You know, they're not like they're one of the you know, highest watched shows right now.
Oh yeah,
and so to have movies coming out, like The Flash is going to be in a movie, and it's not going to have anything to do with the TV show. Now, granted, the Flash movie is coming out 2018,
yeah.
but that's a long time, and it's not. And
look at how many episodes that show's going to have by then too.
And that's Barry Allen. That's supposed to be Barry Allen Flash, and it's not. It doesn't look like it's going to connect to the TV show.
It's not.
It won't, because even in the TV show, they've already done... It's been season 1 of The Flash, and they already did the Brave and the Bold spinoff, which is a really good 6-comic issue read. My opinion which I would be thinking we're probably going to do a giveaway with. This
is my opinion, and we'll get back to that because that's very important. But my opinion on the disconnect between the movies and the TV is that, if I'm a consumer watching the TV show and I get into The Flash, it's going to be the same as if I picked up a comic, start reading it, and be like, man, this is awesome. And then, a movie comes out, has nothing to do with what I've been reading or what I've been watching. I'm like...
So now you're starting to get into the problem that a lot of us, even me as a comic book reader, I have problems with. I'm reading The Fastest Man Alive, which was the run they started doing before the New 52 for Flash. Reading this, Bart, blah, blah, Bart dies... Flashpoint, Barry Allen's back? What? Been a long time. Flashpoint ends. New 52! Guys,
restart.
2 resets.
Yeah.
Boom, boom.
And
4 years. It's a lot to swallow.
The comic books are a franchise in itself.
Yeah, they are.
So, in order to have a successful franchise, things need to fucking line up. Well, how much would the fucking Matrix would have bombed if... In the second Matrix, Keanu Reeves wasn't, Neo, and in the third one, it wasn't even the same Neo. It'd been retarded.
But that's the thing that's where the difference connects, though. I say that you're right if you say what if season 1's got this dude playing Arrow and season 2 this other dude's playing?
And that's what.
But for the movie, it's something so different.
And they could have done this is Wally West or something.
The TV show might not watch the movie.
Yeah.
And there's going to be tons of people who's going to see the movie that ain't never laid eyes on the TV show. So it's easy. There's an easier disconnect now. I understand, you're watching it and you like that guy. But the disconnect's still different.
There's a lot of people I can see play Barry Allen. And we talked about this outside of this before. There's a lot of people... There's a bunch of different speedsters in DC, Marvel. It doesn't matter where you go with who. But, the obvious ones that you can think of that are around the age frame that they're casting for is Barry Allen, possibly Bart Allen, and then Wally West. Mm-hmm. I could have seen them and that's probably where you would have been a lot better off, Dawn, is if they would have casted Wally West as somebody in the movie, and then they kept Barry Allen.
Yeah, we had the discussion.
But Barry Allen is the most popular Flash.
Yes.
Over Jay Garrick, which was the original Flash. Mm. So, and even comic book standards.
Let's say you love the Flash TV show, and Wally West was the main character, because Wally, I think,
he
if you go back to Smallville, where they read the original blueprint, which started. For these shows to get popular, his name was Bart, but he had fake IDs with Wally on it and Barry and stuff. So it's kind of harkened to all of them, yeah. But let's say if Wally West was the Flash for this TV show, and then Barry Allen was the Flash for the movie, it would be an easy.
No, I'm fine with that.
That's what, and I agree. And when we talked about that, was that would make such a better.
That's fine if they, if historically they had. Different iterations of this superhero, and they want to do a iteration for the TV show and an iteration for the movie. That'd be completely fine. You would step on less toes that way.
I agree.
You have that seat. You're fine with that. Now you have people like me. You could have all the Flashes come. They've done that before. Where they have all the Flashes together, reunited. That even we talked about Green Lanterns. There's a lot of Green Lanterns on Earth. A lot of them. Some of them retired, some of them have, whatever, whatnot, but they're all still around or dead or come back or whatever, whatnot. And that's what happens every time there's a restart in the comic books. It's not just this character is having a restart. No, the universe has a restart. Yeah. So, New 52 being the newest one, and there's some rumors, spoiler alert, there's currently, it's pretty far in, it's called Future's End. And a couple months back, they did a one-shot of everybody's future end, how they die.
Oh, God.
So, Teen Titans, Superman, or,
So everybody's going to die, another reboot on the way.
So, and that's the problem is, I'm having New 52 is doing so good for your cells, You're back up over 30% of majority comic book sales. Marvel's still at like 38, 35, whatever. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So, are you guys planning another reboot soon? I just got Barry Allen back. I want to hold on to it for a while, you know, like
let me have my candy for a minute.
yeah, and that's a problem that you will have. Man, it just sucks,
and I've been arguing for the fact that they need to keep things linear with what's going on across the different platforms. You got TV, comic, and movie, but I do understand that. I understand the fact that DC. Or and Marvel for that matter. I mean, they don't even have a handle on some of their characters. Like Spider-Man might as well not even be Marvel anymore. Until they can get that back.
Yeah.
And
Which
it just
was announced that he wasn't going to be in the Captain America movie.
And
they couldn't get a deal done.
And it sucks that they were doing so bad, and then all of a sudden things just got super awesome for that type of media. And they can't catch up fast enough. They can't, they can't get their weight up for that. And because if I feel like if they had it from beginning, and they had all their characters, they had all the rights to all that stuff, they had the money to get the director that they wanted, to make the movie that they wanted, to cast the characters they wanted for 12 years, however long they needed these contracts to be for, it would be much better than it is right now. Which is not saying that it's bad. It's just saying that it's, it's sad in a way. It's just sad. That's all.
Well, there's different ways of looking at it too. Like when everybody started fucking up the X-Men movies, it was give it back, for the love of God, give it back. And then they made something correct. First Class was great. Days of Future Past, amazing. Nobody's saying give it back. Spider-Man, when it was doing okay, nobody had a problem. They started fucking it up. Give it back, we're still gonna give it back. If they make a good one,
nobody has any complaints.
Nobody's gonna care.
I think with the third Spider-Man, I think they got I honestly think they just got complacent. They're like, oh, Spider-Man is just going to sell itself.
The first one was that reboot was pretty good.
Yeah.
And it was popular, and everybody, had a lot of good things to say about it, and they were like, cool, we already know what we're doing, and they just ran with it.
Yeah.
Like you said, they got kind of lazy with it, if nothing else. It was like, oh, sure, this works, whatever.
Yeah.
And then, there you go. So, but the thing is if you give everything back, Marvel can't. They can't. This machine is running as beastly as it can now. What gets knocked out?
That's not even true,
Spider-Man
dude.
back.
That's what I'm saying, but that's not even true though, because look who's in their corner. They have Disney in their corner, man. We don't know.
I know, but Kevin Feige and all these people work on all these movies,
and that's the thing. They're stretched thin already. So yeah, I understand.
So if they get Spider-Man back and start making Spider-Man movies.
And
who gets knocked off?
I think you've said before that you're okay with the other company.
If it's done right.
Yeah. And I am too.
It
just sucks that...
I understand the want to get Spider-Man back because they fucked it up.
Well, they want to put it in all their Spider-Man's so... It's Stanley's baby, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's so crucial in everything dealing with Marvel.
Yeah.
But that's Marvel. As far as DC goes and The Flash, I am super excited about the movie.
He is a Flash fanboy from hell, so...
Even though, Ezra Miller is...
Yeah.
I don't know. And, talking about casting, there's a lot of other people I can see being cast for this. Yeah. And for me, for some reason...
What are some of your choices for this?
For me, dude, and, I've talked to you about this outside of in the room.
Yeah.
But for me, I don't know why, but I see, Ryan Gosling killing this role, just 150%. And people are just looking are you fucking stupid? That's Ryan Gosling.
Is he dry or what?
Yeah, well, I don't care even about his action, but just the way he looks. I can imagine him pulling off his mask, Barry just pulling off his mask, or it's shooting out of his ring, and Ryan Gosling just throwing it, throwing on top of his head.
Well, Gosling's good in a lot of senses too. He's got good range.
I'd pick him over.
Barry's got to be a comedic dude.
Well, he does have to have I can be super serious. I can be funny. Yes, I'm gonna be over here hitting on this girl. I'm gonna run over here.
Gosling's a proven actor, so I'm there with you on that one. I don't see that as a bad choice at all.
But that's my pick number one. I would never ever cast Ezra Miller.
I don't even know the guy. What is he in?
This is
rule number one in
Perks of Being a Wallflower.
I've seen I just looked up some pictures of him, and you see him here and there with Emma Watson.
Ezra Miller.
Yeah,
the only movie that he was like
getting
even
shots
in
with Emma Watson
that's got popular probably ever was Perks of Being a Wallflower, and that's a chick flick that has to do with like gay stuff.
Very PC there.
And I try to like,
yeah,
but it's literally what the synopsis of that movie / book is about gay stuff. Which I'm not against if people are into that.
Right. Don't let anybody get the wrong idea about the podcast.
But that's my first pick is Ryan Gosling, and I can see after that. I mean, I've heard in discussions people brought up like Tom Cruise. I couldn't see Tom Cruise.
Oh my god, no! I hate Tom.
What?
I couldn't see Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise would be the Flash. He's always running he's running away from the gays.
Speaking of gay stuff, Tom Cruise. Oh shit.
But he's always running in his films.
No, seriously, he could not be the Flash because when he would run fast, his nose would whistle and it would like destroy everything. And your whole movie would be ruined.
Oh man,
he's got the right height for the Flash, doesn't he?
Dishing on Tom Cruise.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like I'm just bringing up stuff that people have talked about. Everybody I've talked to so far about Ezra Miller, it's been either like I don't know who he is.
I don't know, so therefore I don't.
Yeah,
I can't handle.
I just don't
know.
see him.
Yeah,
it's the same problem, but it's the same thing with Gal. It's the same thing with Jason Momoa. It's the same.
And that leaves
thing.
you to question like their casting calls though. If we're having the
Why
same.
is Suicide Squad got A-list actor and
but everybody else, who the fuck is Ezra Miller?
Movies, yeah. So
Gal Gadot, shouldn't you be driving a car? Oh wait.
Yeah.
Well, they brought back what's her name? Michelle Rodriguez's character. Yeah, they brought her back from the dead like 3 times already. So it's starting to sound like DC.
Just reboot it one more time. We'll figure it out.
Hell, they could have fucking cast Michelle Rodriguez over Gal Gadot for Wonder Woman, dude.
Yeah.
The Flash in the Flash TV show that's on right now. The what's his name? John Wesley Shipp.
Uh-huh.
He's Barry Allen's dad. In the show, he was the Flash. Yeah.
He was the original. Was that the TV series, right?
I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
What would y'all think about Neil Patrick Harris?
He does the voice.
Which in that
animated show.
I could see, dude. MPH would be a perfect choice, and
he's comedic.
That actually got. You know what? Now that you brought that up, that got brought up. That got brought up because Ezra Miller, in the whole Perks of Being a Wallflower thing, it's about gay stuff, and then MPH being gay, but he's also the man. He is the man.
That's the most. You want to talk about some heartbroken women in the world?
I was extremely happy when I heard that.
Freaking that's the Flash there.
In the Flash, some people are like, oh, he's not. The Flash is. He's not like stupid built, but he's like.
Right.
He's your typical like. I go to the gym.
They portray Shipp like bowed.
Yeah, he's a medium built guy, and that's the only one is Wally West when he wasn't a kid. Wally West wasn't like, oh, look at me, I can bench 400 pounds.
Yeah.
But if in this movie, there's certain expectations I have for it. Obviously, I hope to see some cameos from maybe Jay Garrick in it. The first Flash.
Yeah.
I hope to see some of that stuff. Maybe Speed Force get mentioned. Cosmic Treadmill. Some stuff like that. There's a lot of expectations here, and
here's one thing where they can use that TV show thing to their advantage.
They could do that too. The
TV show can bring up the cosmic treadmills, the things like that to get the character more associated. So, like, if they do drop some of these things, it'll make more sense to them. So it's a way to pay homage, even though you've jumped to do something else.
I'm all over this movie. I'll go see it with Ezra Miller as Barry Allen. I'll go see it probably more than once if it's good. Yeah. It could be very bad.
Make you very sad.
How bad would that hurt you? Like if it was just a terrible, just utter failure. If it was like Green Lantern, like type.
Man, was Green Lantern bad?
Yeah.
Oh God.
Man, you guys keep knocking Green Lantern, man. I don't see it.
How much did that movie make?
I guess I need to watch it again.
Like, come on, dude, that's not good.
I'm surprised it made it.
When he was like sitting there in front of the fan, he's like, You know, all the, yeah, that was badass.
Go home, you're drunk. Oh, wait.
Okay, all right.
So yeah, if it bombed and did horrible, I mean, all my friends would already make fun of me for liking the Flash anyway. So I'm just like, oh, you're stupid. You know?
All right, so I want to ask you something. I want to ask you something.
Let me ask you a question.
Let me ask you. All right, so Dr. Harrison Wells in the TV show, is he like a character in the Flash? Like, does that name ring a bell to you? In any iterations of the Flash comic?
Oh God,
You are a Flash aficionado, so screw this up.
Wells.
Somebody's gonna be mad.
Wells is what? Okay, so
Doctor.
one second before we go on this,
Yeah.
I have not watched, and everybody in this room knows, I have not watched any of the Flash TV show
Well,
yet.
spoiler alert.
So what does Wells play in the TV show?
Pretty sure it's reverse.
Reverse Flash.
Okay, Zoom. Professor
Oh,
Zoom,
yeah,
Reverse
yeah,
Flash.
yeah.
You know, you have a lot of on takes of that, and man, do I love that character. Zoom's badass. Have you seen Flashpoint, the animated? I'm gonna have to bring that over to you next time. So you have Professor Zoom, which is pretty much the Flash. And anytime they're fighting each other, they rip off the Speed Force. So neither of them are fighting at full capability. So, you said his name is Wells in the TV series. That's not the one that I am completely associated with. The one I know him as is Thawne.
Okay.
So I
also want to mention something that IMDb did that I thought was kind of tricky. Like, I like that they did this. I don't know if it was intentional, but I'm just going to say it. On the latest episode of The Flash, where the Reverse Flash actually makes his debut, his appearance in an episode, and they fight him and everything. They have the character that's playing Dr. Harrison Wells. They have Slash Reverse Flash.
Yeah.
Then they had Detective Joe West / Reverse Flash. I was like, how both of these people Reverse Flash? There's no fucking way. You knew that it was Dr. Harrison Wells. There's too many things that show that, like, in the TV show. But I thought that was pretty sneaky, like, to not try to give away, like, exactly who it was. If you were just looking at it ahead of time, it like cites two different people as playing Reverse Flash.
Yeah.
I don't know if they did that on purpose, if it was a screw up,
probably a typo,
or if the person that plays Detective Joe West actually did, like, was playing Flash or Reverse Flash while.
There's a thing
because
too,
there is
if you look at comic books, multiple people.
Well, that's what I'm
have
saying. Even for me, I don't but as far as like Wells or whatever, he's not.
Yeah.
I don't know the name. I mean, he could be so much as like a CIA or worked as a police force or something like that. But in comic books, he's Thawne, like Eobard Thawne. That's his name, and he's that till now.
Right,
And with that being said, do I have a problem with them casting somebody else or naming him? No, I don't have a problem with that. They could, even in the Flash TV series, they could have Wally. They could have anybody, and I would not be upset about it as far as who they're casting. And as far as the story,
really, it's the like Professor Zoom, like the
that's who he is.
It's the suit that makes him.
Well, the Professor Zoom is Professor Zoom.
Right.
His ego, his mask would be his human name, Thawne. Eobard Thawne. That's his human name.
Yeah.
That's his alter ego. Just like Superman, and then when he's Clark Kent.
That's
his disguise.
Yeah, that's
how it is for me.
Get that backwards.
His mask is humanity.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So that's the same thing when you come to
24/7,
Zoom. And Zoom's a pretty big bad guy. Dealing with Barry Allen. From what I've heard, Iris has been brought up in the storyline as far as TV series.
Yeah.
And what's her last name in the TV series?
It's
because she does marry
Iris
West. Yeah. So she does marry Barry Allen.
Yeah.
And I didn't know if they changed her last name in the TV series or not. So she is Iris West.
Iris West.
Well, they basically, I don't know how they brought in Professor Zoom, but how he kind of like comes in the storyline is he disguises himself as Barry Allen, and Iris and Barry Allen, a.k.a. Professor Zoom, a.k.a. Thawne, at the time are about to get married, and then you see Barry Allen hold up in his flash suit, like, hold up, you're about to marry the wrong man. Yeah. And that's like, where a lot of that rivalry is starting to like really take off and stuff like that.
Woman. Yeah.
So the TV show for me is so intriguing because there's a lot of time travel shit going on in this,
And there
in this
is
show.
Welcome to the Flash.
Yeah.
no
And it's like
my wife could never watch it.
I'm lost.
Yeah, so
It is a lot to keep up with,
Yeah.
especially when they introduce. I don't know what they've done so far, but it's he been able to manifest power so much where he can like start splitting off and like have like
well, all right,
20 of himself running around.
well, it's funny you said that because there was a like
Kind of really need to watch this too, so that's like a
no,
Yeah,
it's really
I
good.
I
You
feel like
got,
a
no,
piece of shit for not.
You really gotta watch it.
Let's say something we haven't seen.
you really got to watch it. I'm gonna go ahead and say
Well,
this
fuck
because the people listening to this podcast is more important than you two. Okay, so that being said,
Oh, I don't care about spoilers.
Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah, it's a comic book. It's
but so the latest episode that I've seen, I think is the latest one that's out right now, is like Professor Zoom or Reverse Flash, whatever. He comes in and he tries to Dr. Harrison Wells says, we need to make a trap for this speedster. Well, he is the fucking speedster.
Yeah.
But he's
And
doing
so
it for,
they make a trap for him. Professor Zoom is in this trap, and Dr. Wells is sitting in his wheelchair right next to Zoom. So it's like, how in the fuck did he do this? Like, what? Is this like Professor Zoom from the future come to the past? Did they set this up? Like, are they speaking to? Like, I don't even know anything about this character, so it's really
well, from
crazy how.
as like I've never heard of the name Harrison Wells, so I'm pretty positive it's somebody. Does he work for Star Labs and Harrison Wells?
Yeah.
So I'm from what I'm thinking right off the top of my head without knowing a whole lot about the Flash.
I'm pretty sure
they just made him up, and that's okay with me to do something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't bother me because Zoom is more important than who is his alter ego. Like Zoom is more important.
And like I think one of like the first or second episode of The Flash, they have at the end of the show, like Dr. Wells goes to this secret room that he has in his lab, and he looks at this digital newspaper that shows it shows the Flash like not existing anymore. It says he's gone. The Flash is gone.
yeah.
And he's just smiling. So it's like something's working up to he's.
And there was the big reveal.
Yeah, but this is like way into the future. This is like a future newspaper that he's looking at.
Yeah. And that has a lot to do with speedster powers, and that's why the Flash, like, oh, he had Captain Boomerang and Captain Cold and all these other Boo Gear Master, like whatever. You start reading about Zoom, and that's the thing about it is like Zoom is like his equal on all fronts.
That's the first badass.
You really
Grodd's pretty badass too.
You really got to watch the show so that me and you can talk on it on a deeper level because I'm really into the Flash right now.
So and that's the
like
thing
I can't wait for the next episode.
That's good because it's really he's.
I mean,
He's
what?
like
I would go as far to say that, and I've watched 3 seasons I'm in on the third season of Arrow.
Yeah.
I would go so far as to say I like the Flash show more than the Arrow, and the Arrow
That's
has
what
a
lot of people said,
and the Arrow has a lot going for it. Like it has a lot of backstory on.
Everything's a blueprint too to keep improving on. Smallville started this thing,
but there's just a lot of
like. They got Arrow, and it was a more.
Has anybody been watching
version.
Gotham at all in here?
No.
Yeah,
No,
I wanted to. I wanted to start it.
It looked pretty.
I have no care too. Sadly,
Yeah, I really do. It's bad to say because it could be so great. I'm not gonna tell anybody don't go watch it that it's bad because I have not seen it.
Yeah.
I can't give a good judgment on it. It's just
I felt the same way. I felt the same way about Agents of Shield, and surprisingly, I like it. I felt like I didn't want to watch it. I started watching, and I was like, "This is neat."
It's just for me. Like I've watched the whole first season of Agents of Shield, and it just kind of like drags for me.
It is slow paced. It is slow paced.
Over halfway through, like you said,
and it does get better towards the end. But like it's not like the movies where like, oh, that was a pretty big plot twist. It's just like I can call everything, and I don't like movies that I can do that. And I'm like, oh, this is about to happen, this and this, doesn't matter.
I mean, Sammy Jackson made a cameo in it.
He does make several cameos.
It gets a day of ratings.
He was
Did he drop it in
ABC.
He was bitching out what's his name? Coulson for fucking up his plane.
And then he hands over, spoiler alert, at the end of season 1, he hands over the director status Shield's already like fucked anyway at this point. Like
Oh,
it's
yeah.
already and
Yeah.
you'll
Is this supposed to be like pre Winter Soldier or post Winter Soldier?
I have no clue.
It's gonna be. It's interesting. I like how they're tying it all together, though.
Doesn't say it.
It had to be right after.
It's probably
Avengers.
right. No, well, they had some of that in the Thor movie. It was a little bit after that. They had some stuff in there that was kind of mixed up, and that's what I'm saying. Like they started following like the movie storyline, but then no movies were coming out, so they kind of had to do.
Well, they were talking like a lot of Colt. You know, they're talking about how he died and shit.
Yeah.
And, you know.
Well, it was after the Avengers.
Yeah.
I'm saying the last movie reference they made was the Thor movie. And they're like, oh, we're gathering specimens from the blah blah from Thor, and then
Wait, Thor, the Dark World was after.
it was
Captain,
sometime
Winter
in
Soldier?
there. No, it was
no.
before.
That was
The last time they referenced the movie, and no, I take it back.
No, Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier was referenced in it.
Winter Soldier was the last one. That's when
That's-
Shield went to shit.
Yeah,
Right?
but that was it. And Shield went. You're completely correct. And that's what I was actually just talking about this. Actually, so I'm stupid. But like, yeah. So Shield's fucking like overdone, and Fury's like, fuck this. You can have it, Coulson. I'm out. But he's in Age of Ultron. So
Well,
we'll see.
in the comics, there's a point where Maria Hill gets in charge and everything.
Yeah.
it's its whole thing. So let's stay on DC. So
Yeah.
after Flash comes out, we got Aquaman.
Dude,
Jason-
Oh man.
Jason Momoa.
We discussed that.
I am wet for this Aquaman.
Yeah, you know what?
All right.
So it's coming out in 2018. This is still one of those things that the plot's nothing
No.
about the plot's out there. I think as far as plot goes, the Flash is the latest thing they have plot wise.
What we discussed earlier though outside, I hope he rides Jaws in the battle. Let's cross that over, Spielberg, help him out. Let's get Jaws and let Aquaman ride it into a fight. I'm totally sold on the movie then.
Fuck that. He could borrow the Kraken from Poseidon.
Yeah.
He does bring the Kraken out.
Yeah.
I know we've questioned Jason Momoa, but if you have watched Game of Thrones, and you know he probably had, 22 lines in his whole stint on there, and he sold me on Khal Drogo.
So you think he can be Queen of Atlantis?
If he can
Queen?
sell...
Oops.
King of Atlantis.
He sold me on being just this BA dude, with just minimal words. If they're portraying Aquaman, not as the old butt of the jokes. If they're portraying,
They won't.
You like Drogo and everything? You really he died though, and he died like a bitch.
He died with some virus, man. This old.
I don't know how
Is
good.
he just done for the rest of Game of Thrones? Because I know they bring him back, but he's just like, I'm a vegetable.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, as far as his acting goes, I don't know how good Stargate Atlantis was, but he was in 78 episodes of that, and he's a character in Stargate Atlantis.
So
That is
Stargate.
funny.
So Stargate users.
Atlantis.
Yeah.
Holy shit! Reference. So Stargate viewers, if you've watched some Stargate, give some feedback on how you guys think
Yeah.
Jason.
Yeah.
He plays
It's
Ronan
gonna-
Dix. And,
Because Stargate's a
It's-
pretty big franchise.
Oh, yeah.
I don't watch it personally, so that
I watched, I think,
somebody that
Star
watches
Trek
it can
and
let
then
us know.
Babylon 5.
You know what? Yeah, I haven't watched a lot of Stargate,
Just the
but the idea, the Stargate idea
Spader's
is
in it?
yeah.
Yes, baby.
It must be
I've
good.
seen that one.
Yeah.
I've seen that one, and the whole Stargate universe is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I
So
don't know how
there's-
well they did it in this, but
There's nothing really else to go off of. I don't think it's a bad casting call as far as that goes. I mean, I think he's going to do good as a role. It just depends on how much research and how he actually is
He
acting.
seems pretty into it, though.
He's a king. Obviously, he has to act like I'm above you. / I hate all of everything that's not Atlantis.
Yeah.
So if he can nail that role, he'll be okay. And then
Honestly, that's kind of hand in hand to his part in Khal Drogo. He was
yeah.
like everyone else's.
he played Conan in 2011.
Oh yeah,
Conan
he
the
did play the
Barbarian.
Conan in the Conan. the
He was
Bombed.
Conan.
which bombed.
So, I mean...
Well, I thought the movie was actually kind of cool, but it's an action flick. I don't care
What?
much.
Ron Perlman was in it.
Perlman's the man.
Yeah, he is.
But Perlman's
Okay,
in a lot of
So
bad shit,
I've
too.
met Ron Perlman twice in my life. The first time I was like starstruck. You're an
Hellboy.
awesome guy. Second time I met him, he was a fucking asshole.
Nice.
So-
Yeah,
That sounds about right.
I was like, you were so nice to me last time I got your autograph. Why are you a dick now? But I mean, whatever. As far as being an actor goes, you have your.
So
days.
there's a few
it's
things we
like
could
I-
watch that he was in to kind of assess whether he's going to be good.
It would elevate our opinion.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So after Aquaman, Shazam comes out.
Shazam.
Now, the one thing we know that's confirmed is Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson will be playing Black Adam.
Do you smell what Black Adam is cooking?
Yeah. So,
and you know what's fucked up? I think he's the only person that has been cast for that movie.
As far as I know.
The only one that needs to be cast.
Well, here's the thing, though.
That's the only thing you need to get hype. Is like
you know what's funny?
One major person.
It's Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Guy.
He is the bad guy.
That's the thing. He's the bad guy. Everybody's got to remember it. Everybody's going to root for him.
But that's
He's
the thing.
the fucking bad guy, though.
I'm expecting some rock bottoms, some people's elbows, whatever. But
candy asses and
some boots to asses. But with that being said, dude, I think he's visually, he's there. He's huge as fuck. But who they cast as Shazam, and this is where I think, this is what I think they should have okay, maybe Tom Hardy they should have casted this here instead of spending all that money on Suicide Squad for him playing Rick Flag. But beside the point.
Well, that's the thing. Who's a good actor that's bowed up enough that you would want to see fight The Rock? I mean,
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
What? Sign me up, actually.
Yeah.
That would be like a horrible casting call, but I would go watch it.
Goldberg. Bill Goldberg.
If he wasn't so old,
actor,
this is the, because you have to think this way. Billy Batson is okay. So a little bit of premises about Shazam. He's a kid given the powers of Shazam. Old ancient Greek gods or whatever whatnot have the powers. He goes Shazam and he turns into Captain Marvel. Actually Shazam, but Captain Marvel. So
due to copyright law.
The Shazam is the name of the wizard that gives him his powers.
Yeah. Shazam.
So and it's was it acronym?
Yeah, the acronym. Yeah, I forget what all.
Zeus.
Oh yeah, there was a bunch of shit. Yeah,
it's a bad comic book thing, right? Oh yeah, Geekquinox, we know all geeky shit. Hey, what did that mean again?
There's a
can derp every now and then.
I think there's a Shazam movie that features it's like Superman versus it's Superman versus Black Adam, and Shazam helps Superman.
You're talking about the animated.
So,
yeah.
But yeah, okay.
That was really good.
Yeah, it was good.
So it's Solomon for wisdom, Hercules for obviously, strength. You have...
it did have something to do with the Olympus gods, didn't it?
Zeus for power, Atlas...
how when Wonder Woman's fighting, she's like, here, give me strength.
Yeah, so Atlas will stand... And basically... For Captain Marvel, there was also Mary Marvel, Black Adam. They all say the same word, and it all stands for, a god, and then the attribute they get from it.
Yeah, but this is... here's the thing, let's go back to it, though. Give me somebody that you can see can fight this dude. And second of all, who do you want to see beat him? You cannot forget, Black Adam is a bad guy. He killed.
But whatever. The actor they casted for
I know.
He is the people's champ.
I'm worried why this movie's gonna. This is why I'm scared the movie will fail. Everybody's stoked about it. Hell yeah, it's The Rock, and hands off to The Rock.
He was actually
doing so good in everything that he's been in. Like he is just elevating.
His acting has definitely gotten better over the years, but it doesn't matter if his acting's been bad. It's still Dwayne Johnson.
Exactly. Yeah.
As long as he's putting literally his boot to somebody that do not care.
But everybody's gonna want the good guy to lose.
Yeah.
You're gonna root for The Rock, and
he was actually considered for Captain Marvel, and he made the decision saying that I think that Black Adam suits me better.
Well, I think that Black Adam does have a few qualities that people could relate to. His wife and everything. Trying to they'll probably touch on that and maybe try and make him because he's so popular as a person.
To me, that's so wrong though.
Yeah, but it's part of it. Who could?
I mean,
see the thing. Okay, so I'm gonna touch on this real quick. Like for me, I've read a lot of Silver Age Shazam. Now there was a lot of older stuff which I haven't downloaded because I can't afford to pay for those comics. There was a while where Shazam was outselling Superman. Keep that in mind. Yeah, that was a real thing. Jeez. It was called Marvel Family Comics or whatever, and that was DC's. Yeah. So, but with that being said, there's a lot there, and a lot of that has to do with some of the storylines as far as what you see. you know, they used to be friends or whatever, shit happened. That's from the take of what I've generally read and heard about over the years, and they have a giant rivalry. They're, you know, Black Adam's a bad guy, but if you've seen the animated series, you know, he pretty much gives the hand to Superman and Shazam.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I just, it's another one of those things that it makes me wonder.
What's his name? Who played in Superman Returns? Brandon Roos.
Yeah, Brandon Roos. What about him?
Oh, I'm just
trying to say
thinking
that.
like people who
I want him as Captain Marvel.
No, I'm just thinking like I'm trying to grasp for people who have any kind of, you know, credibility, you know, in movies that could play Shazam.
Jason Statham.
You're out.
Come on, man! You can ninja kick the shit out of the Rock. We're gonna get to see.
First off, you have to have good hair to be Captain.
The old Black Adam.
Black Adam, why are we fighting, man?
We're gonna get to see. We're gonna get to see Statham and the Rock in Fast and the Furious 7.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Oh yes, you're gonna see that. Oh, I forgot all about that. That's so. Yeah, I'm there. I'll be there.
So
you know, that's a big call, and I'm sure they did such a good job at casting Black Adam that it has to be.
It's gonna, yeah.
Are there any like other like wrestlers that are jumping on the acting down?
Batista was also Drax.
Yeah.
You know, with you saying that, with this getting brought up, so Batista, I could see John Cena possibly. I could kind of butt chin, you know, another butt chin, but possibly CM Punk. You know, he's getting pretty big because he's joining the UFC though.
Oh god, I can't wait to have a UFC.
I hope that Jason David Frank Jason David Frank called him out and wants to fight him, and I would.
Jason David Frank, for those who can't keep up, that's the Green
Power Ranger.
Yeah.
I will pay. We will get together and we'll pay-per-view that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fuck going to Buffalo Wild Wings
and
trying to afford that ticket.
That'd
you
be
know,
great.
Man, it's. I don't know, but that's like the only. If you're going on the wrestler aspect, the only two that I can see would be either CM Punk, if you want to go on the wrestler aspect of casting for Captain Marvel or Shazam or whatever you want to call him, is CM Punk or John Cena.
I don't think the way Warner Brothers and DC is with the kind of cast and the type of caliber actors that they're getting for like Suicide Squad, stuff like that. I think that's going to be out of the question. I think it's either going to be another no name, or they're going to pay a good actor a shit ton of money to put there. So
kind of burn out on seeing Vin Diesel fighting the Rock.
I don't see that.
How can you get burnt out and seeing them beat
It's another thing that
I hate watching the Hulk and Thor fight. That's what you just said to me.
Shazam, it's like you said, Shazam's got nice, good hair. Vin Diesel is bald, period. That's like in his contract, I will never have hair. Like, I mean, could you imagine seeing him with hair now?
No.
Just put my 80s mullet on and rock out or something. Like,
have y'all seen the video of Vin Diesel like breakdancing back in the early 90s, late 80s when he was like super thin before he got yoked, dude? It's so his curly hair, dude, is so funny.
Alright, so if this person took acting lessons and became an amazing actor. Yeah.
Miley Cyrus.
Brock Lesnar.
No.
Out.
Yeah.
He got the flat top.
I think that Brock Lesnar actually may be too yoked to play
That ain't shit. Dude, Brock Lesnar is the Hulk without animation.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to CG it. It's just a massive muscle.
You want to talk about having a problem, like, rooting against the Rock losing?
Yeah, no,
if Brock Lesnar was Shazam, Black Adam whoop his ass right now.
Yeah.
Don't even, kick him in the nuts.
Yeah, I agree.
He still has one of my favorite quotes of all time. I remember whenever he was still wrestling and stuff like that. He was, he bodybuilt. He's huge, man.
Oh yeah.
One of the interviewers asked him, "How much do you actually bench press?" And he looked at the interviewer like, are you dumb? And he said, whatever I want. And he said it in that, like, sarcastic tone. And you see, like just minutes before, you see them, like, taking a video of him running up his mountainside home, up a mountain with a huge fucking log, up and down, like, the mountain, dude. And I was like, yeah, he probably can bench whatever he wants.
Probably don't have enough weights to find
So, I really don't know who I would like to see cast for... And it has to be either Johnny No Name, who's actually going to be spectacular at the role, or A-lister good guy who is just like, oh shit, I didn't actually see that casting call. That's a good call.
This is like kind of way off topic, but like looking at these fighters and stuff transferring, kind of jumping around and playing with things. What about GSP? His little small role in Captain America too.
Oh yeah. Oh, he got kind of. I don't know, man.
He's treated like a bitch.
He's kind of old now, man. That's the thing. He's been doing...
For a dude that, like, personally, it's hard for me to watch him, but he's just so dominant and so respected, he kind of got, like, a garbage time role. I was like, dude, y'all could have, like,
made him a little...
Have you seen... Wait. Have you seen, like, his... those really bad action movies? They always do parodies of UFC movies and MMA movies in general. Like, he's played so many of, like... 5.
17 and a half.
Oh man,
that first one was actually pretty good.
The first one was good, but then like it got to what is it, Blood and Bones? That's another big one too.
It became a cash grab.
It's like how many more organs can we? Ooh. Okay, here's something. Now we kind of have a trend of traditionally the superheroes have been white. They were written back in the day. They were written as white characters, and we've got kind of a precedent.
First ones you've had were Luke Cage, Black, and
we've got superheroes now. Kind of they've redone Miss Marvel.
Right.
They've redone some other heroes.
Power Girl.
What if they don't cast a white guy? What if they cast a black
Jackie Chan.
Yes.
Jackie Chan on his wheelchair from the 80,000 broken bones from the other movies.
Motherfucker could do it.
Yeah.
Just say like
he's the only person I can see kicking somebody just from a wheelchair. Tony Jaa though is like the new age Jackie Chan, and he is a badass.
Yeah, he is. He's a badass.
Dude,
so
he's not.
Would I be opposed to them like
the
getting somebody like of a different ethnicity to play? Because, I mean, if you even go back through lore, I was talking about earlier, Shazam's based off, Greek mythology. So they could get somebody, Middle Eastern or something like that to play it.
Samuel Jackson's a black guy. Fury was always white until the revamp when they did the, and now he's black. And
they should just get Tom Brady to play.
What if they...
I won't go see it.
What if they get Vince Vaughn?
Dude, if they CGI'd some major stuff, dude.
He would go on like a 55-minute rant.
Yeah.
Like, what if I did this? What if you...
He would try to talk him out. It's like,
see, you're going to throw a punch and I'm going to block it and I'm going to punch you back in the face and then, he'll just go on like a non-scripted... It's crucial to say that. And, these characters, and I'm glad they're... I'm really excited that they're doing a Shazam movie. Like, all around, I love The Flash, and I'm on the list of everything that I am most excited about Justice League and Shazam. Not even Flash, which kind of, that has a lot to do with who they chose for casting.
Yeah. Well, see, that's the thing. Like, looking at this list, I'm kind of like, give it a 5, or whatever. Like, this is the first one that I'm actually
besides Justice League, honestly, that I'm just like, oh,
that I'm
10.
Like,
10 out of 10. There's nothing out there for it. You have The Rock. I'm 10 out of 10. Dwayne Johnson. You can.
What if they just did it Nutty Professor style and like Dwayne Johnson was like all the characters?
Wait, like Medea? Doesn't Medea do that or whatever?
Like Dwayne Johnson fights himself.
It's like you said, they're so serious about this though. They're not gonna have any.
Nah, it's gonna be a really good movie.
Yeah, it's gonna be a very serious take. What
about like Army Hammer?
Well, we brought that up for talked a lot about
Kevin Smith. It's his best buddy Ben Affleck. But when they originally asked Kevin Smith, like, who would you see playing? He was like, "Dude, Army Hammer all the way to be Batman."
Yeah.
So wait a minute. What?
I could see him playing a Captain Marvel, Shazam, whatever you guys know him as. So.
All right, and then after Shazam.
You got part two Justice League, which is probably going to either be a continuation of what's going on further in depth. Added some probably new cast members for it.
Yeah. Like Shazam, possibly.
Yeah. Well, most definitely.
And
you may even see Green Arrow, Green Lantern,
If Green Lantern's not in the first one, I totally expect him to be in the second one.
Canary, Captain Atom.
There's a lot of people
Martian
that could.
Manhunter.
Captain Atom would be a cool character.
Wait a minute. All right, one more candidate for Shazam.
Okay.
All right, the dude that played in Troy. That
Fuck. The big bald headed.
No.
The dude who played Ajax?
No.
I was about to say, he's like a little...
The guy.
God,
yeah.
oh my God, I'm gonna beat myself up for this.
Eric Bana?
Eric Bana?
Yeah.
I mean...
Eric Bana?
I could actually see... I could, but he'd have to do
I don't
some...
see him getting cast as that. I don't think it's the worst casting.
No, I don't either.
Oh, yeah, yoke him up a little bit. He'd have the facial structure and the hair.
Yeah, I think yeah.
I think they're gonna pick a guy that's fairly young. I think they're gonna play off the fact that Billy Batson is a kid.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They're gonna, okay,
it's Shazam, and he's all like...
They're gonna have to cast two people. They're gonna have to cast a kid, and then they're gonna have to cast, Shazam.
All right. So after Justice League Part 2, we go on, we got Cyborg. We've talked about that a little bit. Ray Fisher was cast. Who the hell are Cyborg's bad guys? He's always been part of a team.
He's always been attached to Teen Titans.
Yeah.
So you have...
EMP?
Shut him down.
I was thinking more like Norton Antivirus.
Well, a lot of people don't realize this, but Cyborg's really fucking smart.
Yeah, he is,
so he plans for EMPs and stuff like that.
Well, John Connor.
So who was the first guy that really started nailing it to whenever Cyborg was part of Volume 2 of Teen Titans? Original Teen Titans was, you had like Flash, Robin, Red Arrow, Speedy. So he was part of the Volume 2, which was he was introduced with Raven and Starfire. And that was like DC Comics Presents number 26 or something like that. But so when he gets introduced, this is it. And the first guy to really just put it on the Teen Titans was Deathstroke. Yeah. He like, oh man, wipes them out, and that's what Deathstroke does.
Do they hold Deathstroke like all the way down though? Like, do they wait till 2020 to start dropping Deathstroke?
Well, they put him in Arrow, so I mean, people nobody.
It gets a little bit of a fix.
Nobody knew who the fuck Deathstroke was.
And they did an awesome job putting the actor they did for Deathstroke.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people talking about that.
He was a guy who played in what was that series? Spartacus? The first season of Spartacus?
Yeah.
And I think that was a great casting call.
Yeah,
I really did.
Yeah, a lot of people are happy with it.
So, as far as bad guys go,
makes you interested to see where they're going to go with this.
I'm really interested because, the Teen Titans TV series got announced to have a pilot episode sometime 2015.
Yeah.
And that's actually, I see Cyborg on Teen Titans.
Oh,
I don't see, like New 52 was the first time I really started seeing Cyborg part of the Justice League. Yeah. So I'm really kind of, and he's gonna be.
And they're like running wild with that too.
Yeah.
Like they're throwing him in there. Like, get used to it. Cyborg is.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like it was like a
Justice League.
After they got Red Arrow on there, so like they started like accepting new members, and Cyborg's like, yeah, dude, come on in, dude. He's a great member all around for Teen Titans. I love him. A very underrated character. So am I surprised he's getting a movie before, say, like Nightwing or something like that? And yeah, I am. But I mean, like, dude, hell yeah.
I'm curious to see where they go with it. The one thing that we can say, like, once you get this far down, depending on what DC does, they've had the time to
between TV series and
everybody's going to know a lot more about this world. They can introduce things, so they've got the potential to make it.
After the first Justice League movie, everybody's going to kind of know the direction that everything's going.
Exactly, yeah. So depending on if they do everything correctly, they could. I mean, we haven't seen anything yet, so they could potentially fuck this up royally, and we might not get past the Justice League. So. I don't know.
All right, guys. So back to DC movies.
So we won't really see. So, and then after Cyborg, of course,
you got the Green Lantern reboot.
Yeah,
in 2020.
Please be Jon Stewart. Please be Jon Stewart.
I'd probably see they either gonna go that way, or they're probably going to go Hal Jordan again.
Hal Jordan is like the iconic Green Lantern. Yeah. He's the most popular, so I do think they probably go there too. I think they go back with Hal Jordan. They just redo it.
I know we talked about this, off.
They don't even have to so much like redo it. It's just like, okay, well, we got all that shit out of the way. Let's you guys know who Hal Jordan is. Here you go.
I don't think
now like the main bad guy could be Sinestro, and you won't have to do any background or anything because I just want to see Denzel, man.
You just want to see Denzel as John Stewart?
Subscribe to our channel. Be John Stewart. Be John Stewart.
I feel the same way about Dwayne Johnson as I do.
Yeah.
Denzel Washington's one of my favorite actors, hands down, and he can't do any wrong in my eyes. Now, do I think that he'd be a good John Stewart? Because he has went up for casting. He went up for there was talks about him doing Luke Cage, Black Panther, and this role it got. John Stewart got mentioned.
They were gonna originally do. When I say Christopher Nolan was like, no, let's don't start messing with nothing while I'm doing my thing. Denzel was passed around. They were talking about John Stewart in the Justice League,
and that's what I would love to see. That now, do I think that he would be a perfect role for that? I don't think he'd be a bad role.
No.
I don't think he could be a Luke Cage, or a Black Panther.
And then he really could say, King Kong ain't got shit on me.
But you know who I think would be a really good John Stewart? The guy who they play as Diggle in the Arrow series.
Yeah.
I think he would be a
an interesting choice. Yeah.
I think he'd be almost perfect because he kind of, to me, visually, he kind of looks. That's what. There was I don't know if I was talking to one of y'all or some of my other friends. We were talking about this. It's like, hey, what if this whole time Diggle was actually in disguise as he's John Stewart?
Yeah, because he's like a no-name person. Like he's really.
He's played in what else? He's played in some.
Well, I mean, I'm sorry. He's like a no-name character in the show. He
got introduced. Character. I think in the New 52 is when
really?
Diggle got introduced. I'm almost positive. Yeah.
But yeah, he's a good because he keeps the Green Arrow kind of like in check, for the most part.
Everybody kind of gets that. Like the more they revamp all these things and stuff, it's like everybody's got their buddy that they get to vent to or something, or bounce something off of, or whatever it may be. Something that gives them, like you said, like a reality check, in a way. That,
how cool would that be? Like at the end of the Green Arrow, like maybe the last season, he gets that ring, and now he's like the Green Lantern, and it's like the Green Lantern and the Green Arrow because they did the Green Lantern and Green Arrow
comic run together, yeah.
Because I remember watching a documentary on that stuff, and they were like when they were doing the Green Lantern and the Green Arrow comics, they were like, no, it's too much green, but they did it anyways.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. it was fairly successful too. I mean, it had a good run. A lot of people enjoyed it. So.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Diggle for Green Lantern.
Is that your new vote?
Yeah.
Go campaign for it.
Yeah, he was introduced in 52.
Okay. So overall, looking at the slate that we've got here, from Batman vs Superman to the new Green Lantern, I mean, what do we think overall? Now, give me a 1 through 10 for everything.
It's just overall.
Overall, like what we think about.
Oh man,
this is going to be an encompass of.
We're really getting lazy with it, aren't we?
Yeah. I want if you count. Just general excitement over everything on it. What you think about what DC's plans are, the way they're doing it.
That means
everything that we've talked about in generalization. Just
hands down,
rate their plan.
Hands down,
what you think you know.
I'm gonna give it.
Know now. I mean, that's
what I'm saying.
We don't know.
I'm like way more Team DC than Marvel every single day of the week, and it's really hard to top DC in every other form except for movies. You can't animated series blow anything Marvel does out the water. Yeah. Comics, I feel the same. People can argue about comics, but I'd rather read any. I haven't picked up a new Marvel comic book in a while. I bought the new, Thor as a chick or whatever. I bought that. I hadn't even opened it and read it yet because I just bought it because blah blah. I should probably get one of these just in case I ever wanted to read it.
Right.
Some of the new comics, Marvel stuff, like people talk to me about and stuff like that. Pretty good. There was the Death of Wolverines. Pretty good run. Wolverine's dead. But there's a lot of other stuff they've done as far as like the battle of what's better is Marvel is slapping the shit out of the movies. Like they're just like, oh man, Marvel movie, it's gonna be good. And Guardians of the Galaxy proved that point over $1 billion.
The movies are making the comics relevant again too,
Yeah.
to the point of where DC might write a better comic, but when a mama's like, okay, I want to go buy a Christmas present for my kid, they go buy the Marvel comic.
They do.
The kid doesn't ever see DC.
The teenager's like, fuck that. I want to get, blah, blah. I want to see Aquaman stab Blank Manta.
Oh, remember we were in town, like, shopping for the wives.
Yeah.
And you look around like, wait, they have comic books in this store?
Yeah.
And then you go here and it's like, there's comic books everywhere.
Yeah, we run into one in the mall the other day.
Yeah.
I never knew the store was here.
Yeah, it opens like 4 or 5 months back.
Yeah, it's like...
and all they have is they have some older stuff. Most of their stuff is newspaper stand, newer stuff.
And if it wasn't directly for the Marvel shit, I don't think it... I mean...
that store in particular.
Yeah. And there's like... But it's not... Marvel just didn't do it for themselves, though. It's like... I mean, there was Spawn... a bunch of Spawn comics in there and Spawn collectible toys and
well, the
all
guy
kinds
who
of crazy
owns the
stuff.
shop, he's like a super Spawniac. That's the best way to put it.
Yeah. Spawn's such a great series.
It is. It's really dark, really good.
Yeah. If you want a dark, gritty thing, that's.
I'm Team DC all the way. I'm not doubting anything movie wise as long as it's not Green Lantern, Ryan Reynolds again, or Ezra Miller as the Flash,
or Superman Returns, or a Batman.
Batman and Robin. Okay, so yeah, they have a lot of room, to improve here. In I really think that now that they have a sturdy platform to kind of, not so much copy off of, but look and be like, okay, well this is the expectation.
Yeah.
With Dark Knight, that's like the bare minimal expectation. I don't even think that was the bar. I was like, that's the bare minimal you can do to be a good movie. Because I personally, like Dark Knight, they were okay. I would watch them again, but I'm not like crazy about like, oh my god, this is the best damn fucking movie ever. No, it's not. To me, it's not at all in any way.
I agree.
So overall, dude, I want to give it a 10 out of 10. I can't. I'm gonna say like a 7 out of 10. Just because they spent more money on the casting for Suicide Squad than I felt like
the entire other fucking series together.
Yeah.
So, all right, what do you think?
All right, well, I have to preface my opinion first, and this goes off the Marvel ratings I gave too and everything. Superhero movies in D&D terms, they have like a +5. No matter what. And like, they're wearing +5
5 to hit!
They're wearing +5 gloves when they write the scripts. I don't care what they're doing.
+5 gloves.
It's just the pins are like +5.
Imagine how pissed you'd be if you just got done like clearing a dungeon at the end. It was like fucking like a Lich Lord or something like that, and then you get a +5 gauntlets to writing script. You'd be like, "You're a piece of shit, Bard. Take this."
Man, I'm just super stoked that they're making these, and it is hard for me to like literally objectively go through everything and just hide my excitement from wanting to go see them.
Yeah.
A lot of people all said I'm going to go see them, and especially the Justice League, man. Oh, I want that so bad, and it's just like
so far away.
Yeah, it is.
It's just hard. It's hard for me. I don't go see movies.
Man.
I don't. The movies I go see are superhero movies.
Lego movie.
I saw the Lego movie. So cool.
I heard it was actually stupid good.
It's
so
entertaining.
funny.
It's very entertaining.
If they learn anything, if DC learns anything, which is kind of, I don't want to say far from their spectrum, but comedy definitely elevates the movies. Marvel has figured that out. They've integrated comedy. Not a super ton, but a little bit. As long as these movies have comedies, they're gonna do great anyway. But
well, that's gonna be kind of hard to do with like Wonder Woman or Aquaman.
Very darker things.
It'd be harder for DC to do, like I said, because of their history and because of how they written their characters. But we've said before too, the movies are just a little bit different. So you can, if you're clever, and hopefully they hire clever writers with their +5 hymns and all this stuff, they can integrate a little bit of comedy in there. But overall, I'm probably like 9
out of 10 on the whole thing.
Yeah.
On top of that, like, man, I got these +5. Like, you can't be mad because it's +5 to something, but you're still mad because it's not like a Vorpal sword,
Like, just disenchanted to get the powders and go buy.
How much gold can I get for this?
Yeah. All right, what do you think?
So, like, I mean, it's really hard for me to get behind. And I'm falling in love with the TV shows, but the fact that they're that those really don't have anything to do with the movies, it's hard for me to.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like on the fence
As the common,
with the movies.
like the common viewer, I guess you could say.
Yeah. And so if they do, if they do as good as they did with like setting up these TV shows, if they do, if they do really good with these movies, I'll be really happy. But I'm looking at probably like I'm sitting on the fence, so I'm gonna say a 5 overall.
Yeah.
Until the first.
If Batman vs Superman knocks that apart, which I think it really will, because it's just
And that's the one that's coming out the soonest, right?
Yeah.
That movie's gonna make money. I promise you. It might fall on its face afterwards, but people are.
Oh, the opening box day is going to be stupid good for it. Probably better than The Hobbit,
That's kind of been the trend. Like over the past 5 years, the newest movie to come out is the highest grossing movie.
As far as this,
serious,
And that teaser clip that we saw, is that how they're going to portray?
I don't think the whole movie's gonna go that way.
I mean, is that how they're going to portray Batman with the glowing white eyes?
I don't think so.
I don't. Throughout, that was just the SDCC leaked footage. We didn't get that; it was leaked. So with that being said, I don't know. If it was that way, would you feel more comfortable with Affleck playing Batman?
Because I would feel like
He said
Batman
it. Don said it.
I would feel more like Batman is Batman and not Ben Affleck.
I'm Batman.
Well, I can understand because that was kind of like his whole thing. Is like, oh man, you saw those
beady little eyes.
Well, not even that, but like when Batman, he drops down and you don't know he's there, and then he knocks out that one guard, and then everybody turns around like, what was that noise? And then you just see those eyes, and then it disappears back in the darkness. Like, oh fuck.
Like his eyes need to pierce through you, literally.
That'd be something that's easily rendered.
Even if they didn't wipe his eyes out, even if they gave him,
they can make an entire Hulk. Why not just do that?
Even if they didn't do some kind of CG effect on his eyes, even if they didn't do that and just gave him made his eye whited out with a contact or something, that'd be awesome. Well, his eyes are rolled back in his head, if it looked like that.
Undertaker.
Yeah, that would be awesome, dude. That would be awesome.
I know it's not really canon, but Iron Man, his mask, his eyes light up. That they could make Batman just integrate some technology in his mask,
which he does. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Original Batman, no. This Batman, he's gonna have to be teched out to beat Superman anyway.
Hell yeah, he's gonna be. He's
so I expect night vision with infrared, with the gas mask built, all kind of junk.
Yeah, integrate all the technology, and it'd be easy just to have just some, power your eye slits and make them look white, and then you can dim them whenever you want to fade into the darkness.
The thing is people are gonna still want him to have a human aspect. I mean, we gotta forget this movie. Anything they don't have to fucking CG, they're gonna try not to.
Well, I think Ben Affleck's going to remind everyone of the human failure condition. So Batman will be pretty human. joke.
Overall, I'm kind of whatever. I'm gonna wait and see. I want nothing more than to see this blow up and be amazing, and I can say, hey, cool, I got way more comic movies to go see now.
You know what I would like to see? I would like to see DC do more television shows and tie their universe together that way.
Well,
rather than do it big movies.
The Teen Titans show is gonna do a lot of good as far as time. You got Gotham, you have Arrow, you have Flash, then you get Teen Titans Pilot.
But they're different. Here's the thing too, though. Different places get different pilots, do different things. Constantine's not going to be tied in with all those things. Gotham is not tied in with Arrow and Flash.
Yeah.
Teen Titans will not be tied in with Flash and Arrow.
But it could be though. That's what I'm saying. It could be though because if
it makes sense that Constantine isn't really.
Yeah, I can understand that one.
Oh,
but
absolutely.
Teen Titans could be like, oh shit, we need help. And Barry Allen's like, oh, I've been doing this for a while now. What's up, guys?
Could it happen? Yes. Would it be cool if it does? Yes. Will it? I don't see that.
But that's 3 DC. I mean, there's 4 DC television shows out right now, right? I'm not missing any.
Constantine,
right?
Arrow,
Gotham, and Flash.
Got the ones from the past too, like Smallville.
Well, I'm talking about the ones that are out right now. I mean,
those.
Marvel has
one.
So,
but they put all their eggs into
in the movie basket.
basket.
And it's all about connecting it.
Which is fine, but like if DC's doing good with the shows. I mean, I don't see any reason why they wouldn't stop doing that.
The smaller feature area has always been where they've been good at, though.
And the
animated series,
and the fact that they tied like Arrow and the
even
Flash
the
together
video games,
is
the
awesome.
Arkham
Like
series games.
But that's because CW has both of them.
Yeah.
Like TBS or something gets a hold, or whatever damn
Yeah.
channel is going to do this thing for Teen Titans, they're not going to share it. They're, it's just...
It'd be cool. I mean, like the Flash kind of come in third season of Arrow, so third season of Flash is on down the road.
Yeah.
Something else comes in to tie the Flash in it.
Yeah.
I would like to see stuff like that. That's neat. I just like seeing the, I like for worlds like that to collide and interact.
That
it's
is
just neat.
I do.
You
I
just
do
like
agree.
to watch worlds burn, man.
So anyway, but overall, it's make me a believer. I'm not sold as hell on it, but I definitely want it. I want it to.
My entire
Pillar of
opinion
optimism over
is gonna
Yeah,
gonna revolve around the Superman versus Batman.
I agree.
After that, we might come back like, oh, DC!
Yeah. Well, see, if you look at it, Man of Steel is the only format we've got as far as their movie verse to go on. I wasn't overly impressed with Man of Steel.
No,
Yeah.
it was it was pretty serious movie too.
Yeah,
like,
I enjoyed it. And,
Yeah, it was cool,
and I would
but-
say that I have no problem saying I would spend my whatever to go buy a ticket and watch it. But was I like
I don't feel like
jumping out of my seat like, did you just see what I saw? Like,
yeah, I
See
mean,
what I mean about a little bit of comedy, though?
well, I didn't feel.
How much comedy was
I didn't feel like the threat was really there for.
Well, it just
Superman.
depends on what you're wanting to get out of your movie. Like, does comedy sell? Yes, we know comedy sells, but for me, like, I like the darker stuff. Like, personally, like, I want to see the darker side. I want to see the darker half.
I want to see Suicide
sure.
Squad. I want to see them put a gun up.
But that's just something though
blow their
too.
brain out.
Suicide Squad is a
dark.
movie series that they could do a lot of comedy in, and you could understand why they did a lot of comedy in it. You know.
Oh, yeah.
You,
Well,
you,
like
you
Mar-
remember the biggest thing you heard about Guardians of the Galaxy?
It was a funny
It
movie.
is a
Yeah.
funny movie, man.
And it is.
It's
And-
Iron Man, the first
But
one
it
came out,
and it did not
so many
and it did
one-liners,
not
so
make it
funny.
any less badass either.
No, it didn't.
And the things that Marvel does that is funny is like the Hulk, like Loki's in the middle of a speech. The Hulk grabs his leg and beats the hell out of him into the concrete.
It
was hilarious because
He's like, I'm a god, you can't
Yeah,
hurt
and
me.
and it was so like, oh my god, the Hulk just beat his ass. It's like that's why it was so funny because it was so awesome.
If you break it down though and look at the characters too, though, like these characters are built a certain way.
Yeah.
Spider-Man is a joking his ass off, wisecracking,
Sarcastic asshole.
You know,
That's why the Tobey
Iron
Maguire
Man-
Spider-Man's just...
Iron Man's a playboy. He is these things. Batman doesn't.
Yeah, he's
Name
right.
one time you've seen Batman like crack a joke most of the time while he's in the middle of a fight.
Other people
well-
can. Your main characters may not necessarily have to, but other people can.
Yeah, I understand that,
true
but
to
I'm
your
just
main
saying.
characters. Keep true to your main characters, and dude,
The
I
main
just like-
char-
if
the
you
main
use that
characters
first
are
life
dark.
being,
If you see Ben Affleck's Batman start acting like a George Clooney, you're like, all right, man, I'm out of here.
Exactly.
That's it.
So it
That's
doesn't
what I'm
always
saying.
work.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily like Batman has to be funny, but there can be like
Well, I mean,
comedic situations.
I just want to see Nightwing
like
sometime soon. I have to see Nightwing sometime soon. Sometime. He has to be in there somewhere. And not in the Batman and Robin.
You'll see him on the Teen Titans show, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably.
He got announced, but that's if the pilot goes well. So we'll see.
All right, guys. Well, that's about all we got for DC. Not as glorious as the Marvel thing yet. Hopefully, when the movie comes out, that'll get changed.
And we have nothing to go on yet. So.
That's true too. There's still a lot up in the air for us to see. So we appreciate y'all joining us. Next time, we'll hit some of the independent films like the X-Men, the Deadpool one. Definitely want to get on that.
Spider-Man,
So.
Fantastic Four.
Yeah, so some of those. But until then, hope you enjoy. Leave us something in the comments. Like I said, we'll be getting some giveaways and everything we discussed in the last few videos. And hopefully we'll be announcing some winners soon if everything goes well.
Mm-hmm.
And this was Gieto.
Don Bronson.
Blitzstar.
I'm Black Moses.
Thanks for coming, guys. We'll talk to you later.
Finish him.